Hi everyone, good afternoon. I hope you all are doing well. Today is the last and the 10th session of online diplomacy course, and we will discuss about the Twitter diplomacy. We have our speaker, His Excellency Ambassador Syed Sajjad Haider, and he will be discussing about Twitter diplomacy. Now, first of all, I would like to introduce Excellency and then we will move forward. He joined the Foreign Service of Pakistan in 1992, held various diplomatic assignments in Pakistan missions abroad, like Dar es Salaam, Bishkek, Athens, Seoul, Jakarta, and Pyongyang. And currently, he is serving as the ambassador of Pakistan to Kuwait. I would like to give the floor to Excellency Ambassador Syed Sajjad Haider. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Sabbar Tanoli Saab. Probably you have started very early, a bit early, 5-7 minutes. I was expecting that you will start at 2 o'clock.
Yes, Excellency.
So it would be okay to load this program.
Yes, Excellency.
So this is the presentation. Where is my presentation, in fact? Just hold on. So this is my presentation. In fact, your participants, how many participants right now do you have? Or are they coming on 2 o'clock?
Excellency, we have almost 9 participants right now, and they will join maybe in some minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, they will join.
Okay, we can wait some few minutes more because it will start at 2 o'clock. So we can have some discussion. So you are doing very well. That you are engaging all the people through your efforts, in fact, and you are promoting peace through social media. This is a very good effort on your part, that you are working in a way, contacting different people. I can understand the difficulty you are facing must be contacting and coordinating with the people is really very tough job. And the reason being that to invite the people, senior people to find time, it takes a really lot of effort. And I recall properly, you have probably called me 15-20 days ago to fix that appointment, and you have given me this topic of discussion. And for people who are working in diplomatic missions, Pakistani missions, you can easily understand nowadays the challenges which we are facing, and the commitment which we have with so many issues at upfront related to our bilateral relations with many countries, Pakistan's role in the peacemaking efforts. So I can easily understand the commitment of the ambassadors and the people who are belonging to different think tanks. They must be very busy, and you yourself must be very busy with so many things going on. So anyhow, you are doing a wonderful job bringing many people together on social media, and you are using this tool to promote not only promoting peace through this social media, as well as promoting Pakistan's narrative at the international world, how this country, Pakistan, is emerging as an important country uh, in the region, as well as in the proximity, in the neighborhood, and how Pakistan is taking all the things, promoting its ideas So I hope that different other lectures which you have conducted with participation of so many ambassadors and so many your academicians as well as dignitaries, it must be very useful to all participants who are right now connected with you on social media through this webinar. Now challenges, this webinar is another a kind of a tool, keeping in view COVID-19 challenges, but it has given an opportunity to all the people that no doubt different other difficulties are in the world, but it has given some facilitating people to be well connected with each other. So I hope that I will try during my discussion with the participants, I will try my best and to have to the best possible knowledge, to impart that type of share my ideas, because uh, that is a very new subject, tutor diplomacy, because it is not in a way a textbook knowledge. Rather, everybody is taking social media with a different perspective. So I will promote that thing from the perspective of foreign policy, from the perspective in a way how a diplomatic mission or as an ambassador promotes tutor for the promotion of ideas. So anything you would like to share with me, Mr. Tasawwur, or should
Thank
I start?
Thank you very much, Excellency. I will just add one to two, you can say, words. Thank you very much, first of all, for your appreciation and your kind words for me and for our forum, Youth Diplomacy Forum. And I would like to especially thank you for joining us today, because I can understand your work as an ambassador, and you are working to promote bilateral cooperation between Pakistan and Kuwait, as well as current situation of Afghanistan is also a big challenge for you as well, and for other ambassadors who are working abroad. So I can understand, and I'm thankful for your time, for your precious time that you joined us here. So we can continue. So you can start your presentation. Thank you very much.
So my name is Sayyid Sajjad Haider. I am ambassador of Pakistan in the state of Kuwait. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is one of the session which Mr. Tasawwur Tanoli has chosen for me. I hope there is one thing which I would like to ask all the participants. Do we have, everybody has the Twitter account, Twitter handle? Then it would be much easier for everybody to understand this lecture. I do understand that almost all the participants, they have social media accounts. I can easily understand that to understand this lecture, one must have to understand this lecture in a very better way. One must have a Twitter handle. So I would be uh, much able to give exact understanding of what tutor is. So I hope that everybody has the tutor handle and everybody would be a frequent user of tutor. So you have seen my tutor account. You can send tutor request to me. My handle is at the rate of Sajjad Diplomat. It is a blue tick account, and you have seen, you can follow me also, as well as my embassy, my personal tutor account, as well as my official embassy tutor account. Anyhow, this is the presentation which I have, which my, in a way, prepared by this embassy with the assistance of different colleagues. This would be my sequence of presentation. That would be definition, uh, definition, that would be introduction, then diplomacy, how diplomacy is conducted. In fact, diplomacy is very broad subject, but through different tools and through communication techniques, how diplomacy is nowadays uh, conducted on social media, as well as including Twitter. Then there are different other aspects of Twitter, and which is called diplomacy, that how official diplomatic channels are adopted, as well as how different other mechanisms are uh, avoided or it can be reduced. Then there are questions related to security. But you have seen that many world leaders, they are using this tutor account very frequently, and we have seen that our leadership, they are also using a lot, and there are very different other leaders of the world, they are using this as a tool of communication to give information to general public. And finally, that would be conclusion, and you may ask questions. uh, you know, diplomacy or tutor diplomacy, as the word states, is a blend of tutor. It is conventional, means old, as well as public and digital diplomacy, that you combine all the aspects of this one, and you convey in a very short period of time, conveying that information to the people so that they understand, and they quickly take it as as an information. Basically, some people, they often ask that why tutor diplomacy. You may ask also this question. Uh, there is one thing to understand, that if you are watching television, constantly there is a breaking news. Or sometimes if you are watching, if you are in the habit of getting information, then you get the news after 1 hour or after 4 hours, or sometimes you get the newspaper next day. But in that case, if you are frequent user of uh, tutor, then information is conveyed quickly. So it is another form of digital diplomacy, and it's quietly different with conventional type of diplomacy. Uh, as you know that diplomacy has evolved over time. I will just say that since beginning of civilization, human beings, they want to interact. You have seen in different mythology as well as civilization. I will not go into that detail, but I will just basically convey you idea that for all human beings, they always interested to convey information to other parties, like that of uh, military strategists or kings or queens or wazir or their bureaucracy. They always wanted to convey the idea, share the idea, and they are interested to retrieve the idea and to get the feedback. So, since beginning of civilization, all historians as well as all kingdoms, they have evolved. The idea of sharing information and diplomacy during the period of conflict, the importance of sharing of idea is more important. It means that the human beings, they want to have the more information related to implementation of peace and avoidance of conflict. But over the period of time, since introduction of computer, or you can say IT, as well as other means of communication, like that of, if you say that during the last century, I will say that in the beginning, that would the wireless, then telephone, then radio, television, then internet, then the email, then all social media platforms. And in social media platforms, then you can say that the most quick and effective is a tutor. The reason is why this tutor, because people want to have the news quickly. They want to understand the situation, like that of, suppose I am present in the office, I don't have the access on television, or somebody is present in some restaurant, so he wanted to have the information. So tutor provides that type of information, a connection tutor account, so the person has the access towards the information. So diplomacy has evolved over time. It has influence over social media, big influence over the Twitter, social media. It has completely shifted the information as a paradigm shift. Like that of paradigm shift means that the information mechanism has shifted from many. No doubt, these medium are still very relevant and very effective, but like that of, if you say magazines or books or newspapers, but the information coming on Twitter, it is shifted. It has a significant role, like that of like that of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of any country. They want to reach, for example, I will give you one reason, like that of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they want to reach its people who are trapped or who are affected in some other countries because of some lockdown or COVID-19 situation, or embassies, like in a big country. For example, in North America or in Canada or in the US. So we have our diplomatic missions and we want to reach our people there in North America, in US. So we have a substantial number of population there. If we are making calls to each and everybody, it is very time consuming. Maybe they may not be available, but over Tutor account, if they are following you, like that of Pakistanis, if they are on Tutor, and if they are maintaining that account with Pakistan embassy there in Washington, they may have the access of information related to their safety or security or government of Pakistan or Pakistan embassy in Washington, uh, maybe wanted to share that information. So that is a significant role of its importance related to sharing of information to particular group of people who are interested to get that information. So diplomacy over a period of time, especially after 2011, TWIP diplomacy, the word has coined. It means that tutor and diplomacy, that you are conveying all the information that is related to uh, on tutor, the diplomacy, it has increased. You can say that the importance of conventional diplomatic roles. So now you see that there is a platform related to, isko zara hataoge, just hold on. There is now you understand this a model. Yeah, this model is that the public diplomacy. Public diplomacy, then there is a conventional diplomacy, then tutor. Now, conventional diplomacy, as I told you, that this sphere of influence is still valid. You cannot deny its importance, that it is still valid, because people want to have the information related to relevant information, maybe in the form of hard copy or in the information related to visit of delegation. It may be related to making a telephone call or receiving a telephone call, or you want to share the ideas while visiting different level of delegations. Then there is a public diplomacy. Public diplomacy, that you want to share the information to a group of people using different platforms. Digital diplomacy, obviously, various social media accounts, Facebook or Me Too, or whatever the platforms or digital diplomacy accounts are available. You can have this like that of sharing of information through different other mechanisms. Then tutor income surrounds all the thing. It takes the inputs from conventional diplomacy as well as public diplomacy as well as digital diplomacy. If you have a tutor account, you will see that people want to share information through their account in such a way, in a very short space, and they want to convey the information which is very relevant and the other person to understand quickly, and the other person to understand it quickly. Just give me one. नदीम को जरा बुला लो। इधर ही मैंने इसको बोल दिया। आप ये so diplomacy over tutor. The thing is, further explanation of this, that diplomacy over tutor, it is entirely different than that of traditional diplomacy. In traditional diplomacy, you have seen that uh, you take the documents through different channels, and these are in papers or it is through different contacts. It is a kind of fax. It is signed. You understand that different type of basically a communication related to diplomacy through which you convey all the information through a channel, a proper mechanism like that of, for example, if I say that I want to send one document related to agreement, then I have to prepare a letter. I will enclose that document, then I will sign it, and then I will send it to other party. But in the case of tutor, for example, I want to convey that information that I have participated in some negotiation, or any leader who has participated in any negotiation, and he want to share the news to media that what is the outcome of that negotiation, he will use tutor. So in a way, tutor has given this opportunity to leaders. They are those people who are influencer, even common person like that of he wants to share some information from his tutor account, that he can convey that information very easily from his account to other persons who are following me. So it has activated the pace as well as volume, as well as in different other direction, north, south, east, west, the information is being circulated or it has circulated. So outreach is very, very easy. So it has given an opportunity to user as well as the other participants who is interested to share information. Like that of, you have seen that there on different occasions for the last 5 6 years, some leaders, they are visiting some country. Soon after arrival, they share that information that reached safely. It has communicated to the other country. When they are participating in some discussion with the leadership, they convey that information. When they say that outcome of the negotiations, they convey this information. So it is very quick. It is taken by the other person who is audience, as well as different other media outlet, and it is shared very quickly. But it has a very, you can say, side effects also. It has a different side effects also, that this formal channels, and it has a different jargons also. It can be used in a very different way. So the interpretation is very difficult. Sometimes one person has conveyed information in one way, but the other party takes the information in a different way. So there are questions and counter questions, and there is frequent exchange of information. But for the general public, it facilitates the information to reach to the people. Now, as I told you earlier, that Twitter has given an access to common people, uh, as well as the domestic audience. It means that the local, for example, I will give you one example of Pakistan, that uh, Pakistani people, if they are using that information, for example, you are present, you belong to some media organization. For example, you XYZ, you are a reporter of one newspaper, and you want to have you are interested to have the information related to the visit of uh, your information minister to some other country. So if you are maintaining a social media or the Twitter account, and your minister who is visiting another country, then you can prepare a report related to the visit of your information mission minister or your minister to any other country in your newspaper. So it has given ease of communication that the reporter, while present in the home country, he can prepare report. He can have the access of information. He can have access of information related to activities of the minister as well as other foreign countries. The minister or the ministries or leadership, we can have information. So we also get information related to leadership as well as think tanks as well as media outlets on Twitter account because we follow them. So we have access of information to many other directions. As I stated earlier, that it is going north, south, east, west. We have all the information mechanism on our Twitter account. So it encourages second point, encourages citizens or the people to engage in foreign policy, because tutor diplomacy, you have, we are focusing on this aspect. So it is engaging different people to have the ideas related to foreign policy issues, foreign relations, regional situation. It means that suppose, for example, any foreign minister who is visiting some neighboring country. So neighboring country, a person, individual can ask the question and he can influence the foreign policy decisions, the decisions related to his school of thought. So it has given a good interaction amongst diplomats. Suppose we want, my foreign minister is visiting some country and I want to have the information related to visit of my foreign minister to that particular country. So I am also aware of that visit. Instead of going to newspaper or to get information through my ministry, I get the information through Twitter account about the visit of my foreign minister. So it gives, this Twitter account gives a good platform of dialogue, that you can make the comment also, you may retweet also, you may like this. So it's a kind of interaction between followers and following, both the parties. It is a kind of, uh, it reduces, in fact, crisis management, like that of crisis, that sometimes the information, exact information is not available. So there is a different type of mechanism that it avoids different news, that like that of gossip, or sometimes duplicate news, or sometimes wrong news. So it is a tutor in, when somebody shares information, so it reduces time between plan as well as a response. Right? It now, when you are sharing like the image enhancement, so when you are sharing information to your audience and your effort is being known by the audience, it enhances the image of the person who is sharing that information. You have seen many leaders, they enhance their credibility, their personality through Twitter account, through social media account, what they are doing in the outside world. So all important people, they have this social media accounts, and they increase their authority as well as they increase their influence through this Twitter account, and they build the image. And often you have seen that, particularly in case of Pakistan, that is a nation branding, that we our leadership, they also build their personality in a way to be known by the outside world. Now, uh, then there are, you can say, drawbacks, or as well as that is related with side effects, like that of that this Twitter account, this is a kind of diplomacy. Twitter account, you have seen that sometimes some people they come on, they make the fake account and they start promoting that fake account, and they make this account just to create a kind of confusion. So it affects the cyber, it has some limitation, because I have seen that there are some people, they have their their account which has been hacked, or some people they make a different type of account and they promote wrong information. This is another kind of very big drawback of this social media. That is the reason for tutor, if the person is known or if the person is influencing, there is one way of knowing that person, that it has the blue tick. It means that that person is an authority and it is registered as well as it is known, and this is not a fake account. So this gives a good advantage, that blue tick count in case of tutor. It is a genuine, pure brand, pure account. So otherwise, I have personally seen that there are so many one person, so many fake accounts. I have seen that some people, they are coming on television or they are something writing that this is their original account, and other accounts, these are all fake accounts. So but there are other drawbacks like that of some person who has, or some media outlet, or some person, some leader, they have shared that information, so it intensifies the conflict, the information sharing is also to be controlled. Maybe what information you have conveyed, and there are so many examples that information, if it is conveyed, the other person, they have taken the information in a very different other way, and it has increased the conflict, especially related with the US as well as Russia, US and North Korea, China. Anyway, these countries or the leaders, they are sharing some information. It enhances conflict. The previous position is not settled. The new information is shared, so it enhances or intensifies the conflict. Now, it compromises security. Some I have explained. I have explained it to more that uh, sometimes if you are sharing some information, then it has some drawbacks related to garbage mail, because I have seen that on my, some people, if they don't like my tweet or my personal, they start sending um, different other nuisance, obnoxious mails, criticizing or sending something bad words. This is also a very big drawback. And some leaders who have thousands of accounts, so it becomes very difficult to filter all these things, obnoxious or criticism, or to understand the response of the tweet. So internet, this also lead to trolling. For example, my audience, they are not interested to have, they don't want to listen that thing. Maybe government of Pakistan, they have announced some policy, and that policy is not liked by many people, so they start trolling. Some political parties, they announce some policy, some other people, they don't like it. So people, what people do, different other, in other countries, that you don't like the policy or the statement, as well as you don't like the speech, you start criticizing, a kind of trolling. uh, so these are the drawbacks. On the one side, social media, Twitter has given an opportunity for the people to have the access of information. On the other side, it has given that type of difficulty to other person to face criticism also. And sometimes the quotes are misquoted. There are so many examples that former President Trump, he has been misquoted by many times in international media, and this has resulted into negative as well as negative image building. So there are not only plus points as well as there are some negative points also. So as I told you earlier that the leadership of many countries, not only of the US as well as other neighboring countries, our leadership, especially Prime Minister as well as our Foreign Minister and different other ministers of our country, they frequently use Twitter account to share that information. Government of Pakistan, external publicity wing, they just want to share that information so that people must be aware of what government of Pakistan is doing for the betterment of the people. There are frequent accounts in English as well as in Urdu, so that common people, they become aware of the information related to government policy. Now, you have to understand one thing, that tutor has given an access to the common people to become aware, to increase the literacy amongst the population. You know that the more knowledge you have, the more understandable you have, you can take your action. So in a way that leadership as well as my leadership as well as many leadership of many countries, you know that former President Trump was very popular sharing the information in the morning on Twitter, and many foreign policy issues were known, or the statements before coming in the newspaper or television, it was debated while taking the tweets of former President Trump. So he was very popular. Uh, Now, because time is, I have been given this time only 30 minutes. So the conclusion is this, that Twitter has wealth of information, uh, that almost all think tanks, newspaper organization, leadership, they want to share information with the common people, and they want to build that type of image which they want to promote. So this is a kind of, you can say, plethora, or the lot of information coming from different news source. But there is one more thing, that how much information is required, because we have only 24 hours. So how much information is required to a particular person's, like that of I am working in one organization. So I have some period of time to focus on my work, like that of any person who is working in shop. If he's a sales manager or a salesman or a chartered accountant or a person who is a doctor. So how much information is required for that particular person? So these, not only these are the drawbacks as well as advantages, there are different disadvantages of social media as well as getting information through Twitter account. So, but in fact, social media is a reality. It's a kind of sharing of or getting information. And I personally feel that all people, whether young generation, common people, they have to understand this, that the communication, there is a paradigm shift. Earlier people used to have this information through visiting different people, or people used to have very uh, 40 50 years ago newspaper or radio or television. Now people are used to get information through Twitter. Now that is a kind of that mechanism that you have to have, keep yourself updated. And it is good that being working in in the field of diplomacy, for us, information is the most important thing. For people who are working in some political parties or any ministries, for them, information is as important as that of money. But it depends on you how you get information and how you share information. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak on the occasion. If you have some questions, you may ask these questions from me, and I would surely answer these questions to you.
Yes, Mr. Raj, you
Yes,
can
Mr.
ask.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Mishra and I'm from Pakistan. You talked about negative image building. You talked about trolling. Like people are often only talking about the topics or they want to hear only what they themselves are interested in. So my question is that, and since it is a platform, whether it is Twitter or Snapchat or Facebook or anything on social media, it is a platform that is available to every common person. And now we are seeing, especially in Pakistan, that every person is becoming a jack of all trades. Like every person is becoming trying to become an expert in politics and education and nutrition and health and you name it, any field. So don't you think that different headquarters of all these social media sites, as well as the governments, or whether it is of Pakistan or from of any other nation, they should come up with some policies to limit these trolling and negative comments as well as negative posts, so that because everything on social media, it is open to the mass, it is open to the globe, it is open to every person all over the world, and it will definitely lead to becoming some image that is, it can create an image that is negative for a country, it can create an image that is positive for a country. So sir, I would like to know your opinion. Thank you.
You have asked a very good question and pertinent question. And this is very true that one person on the one side, sometimes he speaks something related to security policy. Then you have seen that person, particularly on Twitter, he is talking about diplomacy. Then after a few days, you have seen that he reports something about economic activity. So I have personally seen that the people, they have become jack of all trades and they consider themselves to be master in all field of activity, and they consider themselves to be a think tank. You are absolutely right. But in social media, there is one thing that the social media, to my understanding, that you have to decide yourself who is the most reliable person and how authentic that particular person is. The second thing, that in that case, there are one advantages, some disadvantages, that the life of social media, especially related to Twitter, it is very short. It is very short that if the tweet related to good activity, it is very well known, well taken, liked by people, retweeted, or it has some comment also. But if it is not like, then it is not the comment. Comment also come. So it depends on the follower, that how he or she is taking that tweet in that way. Now you have seen our for Pakistani foreign minister or foreign minister of any country, they generally don't tweet anything which is not relevant to them. They always tweet which is relevant to their sphere of influence, the field of activity. Like that of a doctor, if he is tweeting something, he is saying something about his profession. He is not saying something related to economic activity. Uh, Now, it is, you talk about that is to have this platform and to kind of mechanism. Personally, I personally feel that the more people they use, they start using this Twitter, social media, the more people they are going to understand it, how to use this social media. If you implement that type of, you can implement a kind of embargo, if suppose something is spoken which is against the Twitter policy, they block it and they suspend that account. And even if you don't like it, you may also disregard it, dislike it, or you may say also comment, or the person he himself delete his tweet. So it is up to you. It is a very good thing. Your question is very relevant. You ask a very good question, but the mechanism is to be devised by the person who is watching it, who is having following it. He has to or she has to decide herself or himself.
Thank you very much, Excellency. We have another question from Miss Leah Pomba. Yes, Miss Leah.
May
Hi
I see?
everyone.
Yes.
Hi. My question, I have two questions. The first one is, why Twitter diplomacy? So if diplomats or governments choose a determined social media that has more social impact, or a social media that is more popular or has more people in it, shouldn't they choose also something like Facebook? Because Facebook also has a lot of impact in society and it's a very popular social media. So how do governments choose the social media they are going to use to practice diplomacy in the digital environment? The other question is, how can we practice a tweet diplomacy? Can we all practice Twitter diplomacy, or is it only related to governments? Only these
Okay,
two.
good question. Good questions. The first question is, that is how you differentiate. Facebook, they basically Facebook people generally like to share their photographs, their social activity more related to that thing which is personal, which is personal, like that of they are sharing that information which is too personal and which they want to share with the followers. But Twitter, you can also share that information on Twitter, and I have seen many Twitter accounts, they share their personal information. But in Facebook, it has people share more information. But in Twitter account, it has become generally there is some understanding that it is more intellectual in a way that government officials, media, think tanks, they are they are using more as compared to Facebook. Both platform are good. Both platforms are good. Government as well as a different other department. It depends on the person that which platform is very useful. Twitter is more useful, or Facebook is more useful, or in the coming years, which maybe these two platforms may be replaced by some other platforms, because there are a lot of new things, new developments are happening in the world. So it depends on the person which platform he is comfortable with. Facebook is as good as Twitter, but nowadays Twitter is more popular, more useful. Leaders are more coming on Twitter, and they are using much more as compared to Facebook. Your second question is related to, I will recommend that you make your Twitter account. I will recommend you, if you are a student of international relations or political science or diplomacy, it provides a excellent mechanism to build your understanding. Easy and easiest way to build your understanding. You may follow newspapers, you may follow leaders, you may follow think tanks, as well as you can have build one understanding, and then you can make comments. So on the one side, you can have the information to yourself, as well as you can exchange your ideas. You may dislike it, so you may have your interpretation also, or you may convey that information that that information is not right. I have seen myself, some people, they are asking questions from me that what does this mean? You are not right. The meaning is there's something else. So sometimes they are absolutely right. So it is up to you that how you interact with your audience, with your followers.
Thank you very much, Excellency. We can take just last question. Miss Lunga Izata.
Hello, sorry. It's not really a question, it's more just to add on what Professor Sparet was saying. Facebook is a bit more social, and Twitter is more direct and straightforward. For instance, the posts, they only allow us like a short number of characters. So you only make statements, and sometimes the statements, they look like headlines, you know, newspaper headlines. So Twitter is more meant to cause, how can I say, to make an impact. If you have something to say, you say at that moment. So it's more for like live or real-time news, to deliver real-time news. So I just wanted to add a little bit on that. Thank you so much for this session. It was very, very informative and helpful.
You have asked, you have asked him, the question is, you are right, absolutely right, that in Twitter, you have some very short space and you want to make the impact. These are the limitations. It means that itself, the Twitter organization, they don't want to indulge in that type of that thing, which is the other platforms, because other platforms, they have more space. But in the case of Twitter, somebody is interested to have the basic, relevant, most important, significant information, it is shared on Twitter. So because to make the convenience to other people, so every person is very busy. You have seen that Facebook people, they try to find time, they load the picture. So it is pure my understanding, this is a general view, that people who are more interested to share their pictures, they use Facebook. But people who want to share information in a few words, they convey information on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Excellency, for answering all the questions.
Sorry to interrupt you. You may share my Twitter handle. My Twitter handle is this one. I will write my Twitter handle. Let me have.
Excellency, I will share with them.
Okay, Sajjad Diplomat. This is a blue tick account. Diplomat. Sajjad Diplomat. You can have this. You can follow it to me. You can even ask questions. I will reply. I would be very happy if you ask questions in my inbox. Feel free, because through this medium, we should promote peace in the world. You people are, you can say you people are important nuggets and golds of, it is your responsibility to bring peace in this world. You can play a very important role through this social media, how to conserve nature, climate change. You can play your part, as well as you can build a peaceful narrative in this world, bringing the people together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Excellency. At the end, I would like to say that I will also endorse or recommend the Twitter, because if I say that I also contacted you on Twitter also, because I didn't know you before, but I contacted you on Twitter, and then I, follow you and talk to you about the Youth Diplomacy Forum that I am going to start this initiative, and you supported at that time also, and you respond to the replies and, on the Twitter also. So I would also say that Twitter is good. I practice this Twitter diplomacy, and it is good to learn. If you are learning something, if you want to read an article about any topic, about any conflict, so there are think tanks across the world which are very famous, so we can follow them, we can read books. So this is very important, especially for the students of IR. So I would like to again thank you for joining us today. We are ending up our session here, and thank you very much to all the participants. Thank you very much, Excellency Ambassador Syed Sajjad Haider, for joining us.
So you may have give me time, I can come to the speak to other event if you are interested. Just give me some time, some other day I can also speak, like related to foreign policy or regional situation, foreign relations, anything you like to have, I will be happy. Even motivation, how to become a diplomat or how to have the good, then you can ask questions. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Okay, Excellency. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.